Hey everybody, Sean from Movie Assault here, and it's time for episode 10 of the Halloween 15 for 2022. This time around, I wanted to review Cujo. Cujo from 1983. This is the 25th anniversary edition from Republic Pictures and Lionsgate. I believe Scream Factory released a collector's edition fairly recently. I do not have that. But this is based on the novel by Stephen King, my second of two Stephen King adaptations in the Halloween 15 this year, and that was merely by coincidence. Cujo is based on the book by the same name by Stephen King, and it concerns a dog. And you may have wondered, if somebody insults or calls a mean dog Cujo, hey Cujo, or their dog is Cujo or something like that. This is where that came from. If you didn't know, I'm sure you did. But Cujo is not an evil dog. He's not a possessed dog. He's a rabid dog, and he becomes rabid when he is bit on the nose by a rabid bat after he chases a rabbit playfully into a hole. The bat isn't real fond of seeing Cujo's head sticking through its house, so it bites him right on the nose, and so begins Cujo's transformation into a foaming at the mouth killer. Cujo comes in contact with the Trentons, which is a family consisting of Vic Trenton, played by Daniel Hugh Kelly, Donna, played by Dee Wallace, and Tad, played by Danny Pintaro. And Donna and Vic's marriage is kind of going through a rough patch. Donna is cheating on him with the local, and I believe is referred to as the town stud in the movie, played by Christopher Stone. His name is Kemp, Steve Kemp, the character. So things are kind of falling apart at home. And you may wonder why I concentrate on that, because that's a large part of this movie. This sort of domestic not disturbance, but domestic squabble that's happening. Donna decides to break off this affair, and one thing leads to another. Basically, what happens is Vic gets super stressed out and forgets to take Donna's car to the mechanic. And the mechanic is the one who owns Cujo. And Donna and Tad are tasked with going out to the mechanic in Donna's broken down Ford Pinto. They drive out there, the car dies, and it turns out that Joe isn't home, but Cujo is, and Cujo traps the woman, Donna, played by Dee Wallace, and Tad in the car, and that is sort of the last half of the movie. Cujo is almost more melodrama than it is horror movie. I spent a lot of the time actually feeling bad for Cujo because he's sick. He obviously does some bad things to humans and does it rather violently, but I always more sympathized with the dog and the fact that he needed medical care than I was scared of him. But I will say that the climax, or the final scene of Cujo is very tense. It's believably frightening. Dee Wallace gives an excellent performance in that final part of the film. And at the beginning part, I was kind of concerned that her performance was a little disinterested, but that's basically her acting as she feels in her marriage. So it's actually a better performance than I was originally giving it credit for. But she kind of turns into a mama bear protecting her cub at the end and gives a really knockout performance. The rest of the film, in terms of quality, is okay. The special effects are pretty decent. The animal training for Cujo, Cujo acts like a mean rabid dog would. It's very believable. It's very good. I think, sort of like Children of the Corn, I had seen Cujo when I was younger, and I had only seen it once, and I didn't really remember a whole lot about it. I didn't walk away from it, chilled to the bone or anything, but it's got some creepy moments. It's got some tension. It's got some jump scares. And if you're scared of dogs, this probably would scare the bejesus out of you. But otherwise, it's just sort of a tense thriller more than it is a horror movie. And that first hour, at least it feels like an hour, where there's a lot of just sort of domestic melodrama going on, which is occasionally interrupted by the transformation of Cujo into this rabid dog. It's a little underwhelming, but overall, though, it does redeem itself in the final act, and I would recommend it, at least seeing it once. But more than anything, I think that Cujo is a reminder to all of us to get your dogs and cats vaccinated against rabies, or this could happen to you. But it's not a classic movie, but I think it's worth seeing, and I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. So there you go. That's my review of Cujo from 1983. As always, thank you for making it to the end of the video, and as always, I really appreciate it. I've gained a few subscribers while doing the Halloween 15 this year, so that's very cool. I appreciate that. And to everybody else, as always, thanks for watching, and take it easy. See ya.